until 2018. And I've been in this space since 2016, and I was making money, understand. But until the platform where I was crashed, and that's Steemit, Steemit, what we were doing that time was just writing. We write articles, and when people like our articles, you understand, we get paid. Understand, just like his book, someone likes your article, and we were getting paid. So then I never knew there is something called Bitcoin. I never knew there is something called blockchain. I was just making the money. Until the platform suffered a big setback, that was when I knew, it's important for me to actually go and learn a lot about this blockchain of a thing. And since then, trust me, the result has been very, 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 very important. Now, let's get started, guys. What do we want to talk about today? We want to talk about blockchain. We want to talk about applications of blockchain in practical, in real sense, without making it complicated, in simple terms. And it's not be funny because I'll be using like things you can actually relate to it, understand, to explain what blockchain is all about. So to start with, well, I term blockchain as an innovation. Understand, it's an innovation, just like we add science. Science is like an innovation. Understand, and when you talk about something as when you describe something as an innovation, that means there has been a way of doing such a thing before. Understand, such as in farming before the revolution of science, before the application of science into farming, where we had tractors, understand, we had this coupler and all of those things. Our forefathers, understand, they had their crude way of what of farming. They till the ground rather than use our tractor and plow and all of those things. This is just the simplest way to understand what an innovation is. But the science innovation came in place, understand, came into existence, and the application of this technology, the application of this science innovation can be applied to what agriculture, can be applied to clothing industry, can be applied to a lot of things, can be applied to health industry. You see, when we talk about blockchain as well, this is one of the things you want to talk about, because the blockchain technology can be applied to diverse things. It's beyond just cryptocurrencies that we've heard about. You can apply blockchain technology, you can apply it to the health sector, you can apply it to the agriculture sector, which these are some of the things we'll be talking about. So it's important that you understand that this is a new innovation that cuts across different fields. Understand? So that is a simple thing about understanding what blockchain. So now let's get started and talk about how the blockchain operates. In the real world, now, when we talk about the real world, let's take it from this aspect of it, which is the banking system. For you to in the real world, you go to a bank, you select a branch, understand, that you like, you enter, you get your account registered. Once you do your registration, you have your account number, you have your account details, you understand. These are some of the things we'll be taking a look at, because just like we have it in the banking sector, we have it in blockchain. What we're talking about is what decentralization. You understand? That is one of the amazing things about blockchain. Now, what is decentralization? In the banking system, there is a central authority. Understand? You really don't know what goes around in the bank. You really cannot tell of a lot of things that exist even when you're outside the banking area. They just tell you, we are deducting this for a policy, we are deducting this for a policy. You cannot influence their decision making on your money. You understand? Even when you go to complain, there are instances whereby they deduct your money, and if you feel this is unfair, you lodge your complaint, and even at that, you do not get the money back, because there is a central authority that is controlling the activities. So now, when we say decentralization just means no central authority. Understand? That is the simplest way to understand what blockchain is all about. No central authority. Understand? Decision. And when you hear no central authority, and you're like, hey, how is decisions? How do we make decisions? Now, if it's to be a blockchain kind of thing, and we all here to make a decision, or young TYC is the host. TYC will not be the one to make the decision on our behalf. It will be a consensus. When we say consensus, everyone agrees. Understand? And it's like in a voting, like it's like a voting procedure whereby, okay, I go with A, you go with B, then we take a look at it. Okay, I think the A's have like 60%, that's more than the B aspect of it. It's like a consensus, like a mutual agreement. That's how everything like in this blockchain space is created to be. Now, Let me quickly come back and explain the basics of cryptocurrency. Let's talk about the ledger aspect of it. Let's talk about how the blockchain understand works. Now, let me give you an instance that you understand or relate to it now. To build an house, you know, we lay blocks, and if you look at it, these blocks are in one way or the other. I think the most times they use cement, you understand, for the building stones or anyone here. You find a way to link those blocks together. That's the point. This is what I'm referring to. You understand? Either this side, either this format, either this format, either this format. The blocks are what usually connected in a way. Understand? When you hear blockchain, like block and chain, let's break it down so that you can understand very, very well. We talk about blocks, we're talking about chain. So that means there is a link what between the blocks that we are talking about. Now, what are these blocks that we are actually talking about? Now, let me show you something. I'll be mentioning the banking system. I think quite a number of us will be able to relate with the banking system work. So that's one of the things. I told you blockchain has a diverse application, and one of its application is the financial sector. In 2009, we had the financial crisis. Cryptocurrency can be traced to, when we talk about Satoshi Nakamoto, and earlier I talked about decentralization. Bitcoin is one of the main technology in this crypto space, like the major blockchain. And till date, nobody knows who Satoshi Nakamoto is, which is one of the reasons why, you know, it has never been easy. It has not been easy for governments in any country, understand, to control activities, even in their bid to regulate cryptos and Bitcoin. It has not been easy. Imagine we all knew Satoshi Nakamoto. Probably people might have kidnapped him to get money from him, to get Bitcoin from him, and all of these things. So that is one of the advantages of what decentralization. Now, when we talk about these blocks, like I said earlier, it's not concrete block, it's not mood blocks. You understand? It's a ledger. You understand? Now imagine ledgers that are interconnected in a way. Now in banking system, in the bank, when you enter a bank, you do your transaction. In secondary school or junior secondary school, we had something like a balance sheet where you see the debit aspect or you see the credit aspect, and at the end of the day, it has to what be balanced. Understand? When you go to the banking system, you are performing a transaction which will be documented. Either you are depositing or you're withdrawing money. Understand? You're performing a transaction. See it as what? As a transaction. So it will be verified by those bankers that you've actually deposited this money. Understand? Now, those bankers would look for a way. This is documented in their ledger, and they will look for a way to get this ledger interconnected to other bank branches that exist in the country, or to their top, or to their top branch. Understand? That is like, so in turn you get the money at the other hand, either you're withdrawing or you're depositing. Now, for blockchain, it's quite easier. For to move a ledger from Access Bank in Lagos to Access Bank in Abuja, it's quite stressful. You understand? Even we, and this is the aspect of it when we talk about decentralization. Now, you like, as a customer now, you do not get access to see the transactions that is currently going on in Zenith Bank right now. You can't, understand. And the process it takes for them to move the ledger from one of their branch to another branch is what it's quite cumbersome, very, very slow. Understand? So in blockchain and cryptocurrency right now, I'll show you. You will be able to see the last blockchain transaction, the last sending or either receiving transaction on Bitcoin blockchain. Understand? You can see it. This is made open to everybody. Understand? Unlike the banking system, we do not know what is currently happening in Zenith Bank right now. And one of the very, very big disadvantage of this centralized something is this. There is something we call correspondent banking system. That means if you're depositing money, you want to send money from Nigeria to someone now in the United States of America. If you've tried it before, this procedure can be very, very tiring, can be very, very frustrating. You can send money and in 3 days they'll tell you the money is yet to arrive. Why? Because they are using a ledger, like I told you earlier, in Zenith Bank. Let's say you deposited the money at Zenith Bank. They are using a ledger in Zenith Bank, and they have to find a way. They have to keep moving this ledger from one correspondent bank to another correspondent bank to ensure that at the end of the day, this ledger is connected to where you're sending the money so that they can verify it. See the process. Very, very, very long. But now, when we now talk about blockchain, consider blockchain to be the digital aspect of this ledger. Now, here are the advantages of the ledgers being digital. Everyone has access to it. When we say we all have access to it, that means you can see what is currently happening on the blockchain network. You can see the transaction that is happening right now. I told you earlier. If I'm able to share my screen, so I see, please, I need to share my screen and in a couple of minutes so I can show people in the sense. So with this ledger, you can always see what's going on. So these ledgers are what they are interconnected. They are the interconnected ledgers. Like I said earlier, now for Zenith
Yeah,
Bank to be
you
able
have.
to.
Yeah, you can share the screen with the host.
Okay, thank you. Let me quickly share my screen, guys, so I can show you what I'm talking about when I talk about ledgers. Okay, let's go to Blockchain Explorer. Blockchain now blockchain.info. This is like the public aspect of a ledger where you can actually see what is ongoing on a particular blockchain network right now. Unlike the banking system, you have no idea of what is currently ongoing right now. But here is the Bitcoin or the aspect of it. Let me move this so I can scroll. Can you guys see now? Can you see? If you pay attention, you can see these are a couple of the latest transactions that just happened of recent. So you can see this is current transactions going on right now. You cannot tell for what transaction has happened even in a couple of years in the centralized banking system. So this is decentralized now for the fact that I can see it. TYC can go online and see it. Everybody watching this right now can go to blockchain.com or blockchain.info, understand, and see current transactions that are going on. So if you click on all these transactions one by one, understand, you can see what more details. This is what they see when they tell you people can actually see what is in your blockchain wallet, understand, but what cannot remove it from your wallet without you giving them the permission to hit. Understand? So these are the couple of things. Now, in the banking sector, even when you send money from Nigeria to maybe to South Africa or to Ghana, and they tell you they've processed it, you have no proof that they've processed this thing except the paper that they give you. You cannot track this transaction as time goes by. But in blockchain and cryptocurrency, understand, you can actually track, when someone tells you, okay, I have sent you so amount of Bitcoin, you can just copy the transaction details and go to the public explorer, paste the transaction details on the public explorer for the blockchain and check. Then you'll be able to track the information and say, okay, this person has actually sent the Bitcoin. These are the couple of advantages that comes with decentralization, and that's one of the unique feature. Like it's one of the standard feature of this blockchain, whichever blockchain we're talking about at the end of the day. Can you see? We open this. Can you see the amount of BTC? Can you see it? Can you see the hash? You can find more details about it. Let's go. Can you see the size of the BTC? Can you see the fee the person paid to make this transaction? Understand? So can you see the wallet address? Can you see? So those are the kind of things that you see in this blockchain space. So now when we talk about ledgers, you understand? When we talk about ledgers, sorry, I want to stop this share now. Okay, so I'm back now. So when we talk about these interconnected ledgers, you understand? These digital ledgers, that means what? We are referring to what blockchain because they are series of what interconnected ledgers. Now, you want to ask me one of the things like, okay, how do these ledgers operate? Now, let me tell you something. You see, in cryptocurrency, or let's say in blockchain generally, informations that are stored, it's I told you, the blockchain is its application is diverse. Application of blockchain can be applied to what data storage, data management. You understand? In a centralized system, when you want to store data, you store it maybe on Google Drive. Then the other members do have to start going there. Anybody like the host can just at any point in time go there, even without the permission of others. Either delete the information whereas we stored, or add to it, or edit it. But in a decentralized system, we have to all make a consensus, an agreement, a unique agreement. Everyone is involved. You understand? Everyone access to the informations that are stored. There is a way we validate all these information that are stored on the blockchain. Are you guys with me? So now when we talk about blockchain, blockchain is very, very interesting, but we just have to like understand some certain things in the space. So now these transactions, these ledgers, in the banking system now, it's Zenith Bank or whichever the bank branch that you are operating your account with that verifies this transaction. And you and me, this is a transaction between you and Zenith Bank. Now they are the one verifying the transactions. If they come tomorrow and they tell you, hey, this happened, you actually did not make a transfer, there is no third party involved to clear you, to say, hey, when third party is involved in something, they are like witness. So now in the blockchain aspect of it, we talked about distributed ledgers and our own ledgers, like the banking system, accessible to everyone. Understand? Visible to everyone. And updating it, it's very, very, very fast. If you make a transaction now, the block has been added to the blockchain so that everybody can see. Now I'll talk about the process whereby a block is added to the blockchain. Now this is where I want to explain. Now we have witnesses. What these witnesses are oftentimes they are referred to as miners. These are what are witnesses that verifies the transaction that you do. So now if I'm sending you crypto now, you send me your wallet address, I send you cryptocurrency. The information is what verified what by miners. They take a look at it like, okay, this transit is added to the blockchain. The ledger. A ledger is just debit and credit side. You withdraw money, it is added to the ledger. You send out money, it is added to the ledger. So when you send out or receive cryptocurrency or you store data or anything you're interacting with the blockchain, the miners are the ones that will add it to our digital ledgers. Understand? Now, when we talk about digital ledgers, you all know it is immutable. You all know it is very, very safe and secure. Someone can just enter a bank now, even in a robbery scenario or a robbery session, they carry out their ledgers and or that's a bull market for the banking sector. They can always come back later and say, hey, if they had 10 million in the bank at the time of the robbery, they can always say, hey, we had 50 million, we had 100 million. Such are the things that you cannot do that in the blockchain space because the information that are stored, even at all points in time, are visible to everyone. Right now you cannot say, even in this Zenith Bank beside your house, you cannot tell the amount of money that is in their vault. You can't. So in a case of robbery and they say, hey, we had 10x of the amount they originally had, you cannot verify it. So now when you do a transaction, between me and Young TYC right now, there is a transaction ongoing. It's the miners that will verify this. Though there are different procedures where they verify this. We have our proof of work, we have proof of stake. I think Solana, if I'm right, Young TYC, Solana introduced something like a proof of history, right? Proof of history, you understand? That's like the Solana blockchain, you understand? So these are, I think, proof of work is this. There are big computers, there are big facilities that they take to mine these blocks. They take to verify it. So it's just like a competition. Like let's say a block his transaction is going on right now, and we all here are miners. So if it's in proof of work, the first person to solve this, it's like a mathematical calculation. You understand, like an arithmetic calculation. So the first person to be able to solve this calculation, you understand, gains the reward. Most times it's part of the transaction fee. This is how miners are paid. You understand? Major aspect of the transaction fee, you understand? So the first person to verify this transaction and add it to the ledger, to our digital ledger, which is the blockchain, is the person that gets paid when we're talking about proof of work. I think someone is having issues. And so I see, are you connected?
Yeah.
Now, when we talk about proof of stake, that means it's a little bit complex. Miners involved in such a scenario, do you have to stake like some coins? You understand? They have like maybe a particular cryptocurrency they stake, and also the higher you stake, you understand, the higher your chances. But the first person in mining, the first witness to verify the calculation, to verify the transaction, and add it to the blockchain. So now, if one person verifies it and the other, like more than 50% of the remaining miners agree, like, hey, this person actually got it right, then it is added to the open ledger. Immediately it is added to the open ledger, the digital ledger, the blockchain. Everybody here can see it. Everybody can see it. Hey, someone just transferred Bitcoin from this wallet address to this wallet address. Understand? And one of the reasons why central authority and governments and all the likes, it's this blockchain innovation is the fact that imagine maybe the president of a country, I don't want to mention any country in particular, but we all know, I think we all are Africans here and we know how our continent is in instance. So it's quite unfortunate. Now, imagine they are trying to move money from central bank to another bank right now. It will what be visible if it's in the blockchain technology. You understand? It is very, very visible. That is when you all can see that, hey, my president just withdrew 200 million naira, $200 million, 200 million Ghana cedis from our bank. You understand? It's traceable. People can, though we have private blockchains, but it's not like you can still trace them. We have private blockchains like Monero, instance. We have privacy blockchain like Dashcoin. You can use their private send feature, but it's still not that people cannot see some particular things about the transaction. So these are quite some of the reasons that makes this blockchain technology of a thing unique. And this, on the other hand, is one of the reasons. If you ask yourself, why is the government not most times supporting the blockchain? These are one of the reasons. Now, we've talked about blockchain. We've talked about how secure it can be. You cannot just go and tamper with it. Everybody is watching you. It's just like in a scenario we are all in a big room, and right in between us, someone put what 10 million dollars, 10 million Ghana cedis, 10 million naira in between all of us. It's very, very difficult for someone to just come there and steal the money. We are all watching you. We all can see you. You understand? Miners are always working to understand that the blockchain technology is visible, like it's still operating. So it's quite like very, very an appliant task. We have had some cases of acts that has not really been successful, because at the end of the day, they still get to trace you. Even those people that hacked KuCoin exchange at a point in time, they were caught at the point of trying to exchange the cryptos to fiat. So it's quite secure, you understand? It's mutable. Those are kind of the features of blockchain. And it's easy, it's accessible to everyone. Now when we talk about blockchain, I told you the application of blockchain is unlimited. Now, one of the application of blockchain to health industry now is this. I think in America, now their Interpol released an information at the point in time that every year at least 1 million Americans die of fake drugs. You understand? Multivitamins, fake drugs, instance. Now, how can we apply blockchain technology to this aspect of this world? Now, imagine every drugs has a particular label, and the information of these drugs are stored on the blockchain technology, in the blockchain. Like we have a ledger, understand, where details of originally created drugs are stored. When it is the digital ledger, everybody can access it. So when you buy a drug, let's say this is my phone right now, information about this phone can be found on my on the blockchain space, and I'm trying to buy this one, and I want to be sure if this phone is original or not. What do I need to do is just copy some information that must have been embedded somewhere, then go to the blockchain whereby these phone creators are using, then put the information up online. Then I can see if these drugs actually exist. The moment I cannot see the drugs, you understand, after pasting the information, the moment I cannot see the information about the drugs, even there are some products, like it's not even about fake products right now, expiry dates. It's quite unfortunate that most of the things we consume have expired originally. So imagine we have a digital ledger now. If it's now let's come back and talk about why blockchain is having a lot of advantage because of the digital ledger. Imagine like the product was created in Abuja now, and they are here in maybe, or it was created in Ghana, and you are here in Nigeria. You want to use the same product. Will you travel to Ghana to go and see their analog ledger? It's not. Even when you get there, you see millions of people paying to go through the ledger. And imagine you have to go through a ledger with information of over 10 million products. It's not visible. But in blockchain space, I can just go online, understand, type the information, put the information about the particular product, even where I am at the moment. Then in a couple of seconds, I see whether this product is original, whether it's a counterfeit. That is another application of the blockchain technology. Understand? It's diverse. Another thing is tracking. Let's say you create products now, you sell products, you understand. I told you earlier that unlike the banking sector, whereby when they tell you we've transferred your funds from maybe Nigeria to Ghana or something, maybe you're trying to send money from Nigeria to Ghana, you cannot really track the current location of what of this money. Now, if it's a product and this product is having like a blockchain, it's leveraging on the blockchain technology to store their data. The moment they store it on the blockchain, it is accessible to all of us. So now when you are sending something, that means the what they have to add that block. They have to add the transaction as a block to what to the ledger. And immediately they do, you can now monitor the progress. So if for them to send to Ghana, the product has to go to Tanzania first. Then from Tanzania, it has to be rebuilt to Ghana. That means the moment it's leaving from Nigeria, this product is actually what leaving Nigeria. Then when it gets to Tanzania, that means there will be people that act as miners in Tanzania that verifies that what they received the product already what in Tanzania. And then once they are sending from Tanzania to Ghana, you are still seeing it. And it's quite very, very easy. You understand? Those are what the applications of what the blockchain technology. And I tell you, there are different kind of blockchain network which we will be talking about in a couple of minutes if permitted. But let's talk about another important thing, which is I think the aspects that interest all of us, and that's what the crypto aspect of what the blockchain understand. It's like one of the most popular. Another before I go into the crypto, another aspect of the blockchain, another application of the blockchain is what smart contracts. Smart contracts. Quite unfortunate of recent in Nigeria. I don't know if it's same thing in other countries. Or in TYC, we had issues of people who leveraged smart contracts and using crypto as a means of payment. Like they scam people with it. Now, do not be confused. That's not the real application of crypto. But you have to understand that crypto is what a means of payment, so that anybody can use, even a scam platform can use crypto as a means of payment. That doesn't mean that cryptocurrency that they are receiving is supporting the scam. No. But you can actually use it as a means of what payments. Now let's quickly move on to the smart contract aspect of it. It's just like it's quite unfortunate between employees and employers of labor. Even after meeting the set conditions, maybe between me and twice now we had an agreement that, hey Mike, I'm giving you 10 million naira or $10 million if you fulfill these KPIs. KPIs are what key performance indicators. And at the end of the day, I'm done with the KPIs. Now you go and meet. I'm sure this is not Young 2IC, but this is just an example. Young 2IC is a very, very honest man, you understand? Now, when you go back to meet your employer and you ask them for, hey, where is my money? Where is the other part of my agreement? Then they start what? Giving you excuses. So smart contract solves this problem in such a way that once agree, you initiate a smart contract for it in the blockchain space in such a way that once I am able to meet these KPIs that you set, that we agree, the money is in one way released to me. You understand some of these things? These are quite the problem that the blockchain technology is solving. So now let's quickly move into the financial aspect of blockchain technology, which interests all of us, which is what the financial part of it, which is what cryptocurrency. Cryptocurrency is quite popular, but not everybody understands how this cryptocurrency everything works. So I'll explain how cryptocurrency works. Even if you're new to cryptocurrency, you're new to blockchain and all these things, I'm very, very sure at the end of the day what you understand at the end of the day. So now here's the thing about cryptocurrency. We have to first talk about the history of money. I told you this is what an innovation. That means what until now we had a way of doing our things. We had a way of spending money. Now when we look at it, when money originated first as trade by barter. I have yam, Young TYC is having beans. We have a way of swapping our yam and our beans in between ourselves. Then we moved from that to calories. People started using calories. Then from the era of calories, they felt they needed to regulate it in one way or the other. So they went to blacksmith or goodsmith. I'm not even sure of either blacksmith or goodsmith. So they created coins, metallic coins for them. That is what an innovation. We started with what trade by barter. The first innovation is moving from trade by barter to carry. Another innovation is occurred. We will move from using carry to coins. Now, from using coins, I think the Chinese Empire then, I think in 1 year, maybe 1720, introduced the paper currency. I really can't remember the name. It's Chinese something. So that's another word. Innovation. We moved from using metals, like metallic coins. I remember my dad told me an history then. He said, if you want to go and buy something like very, very that will cost you a lot, your pocket will be heavy. You can't run because it will just be swaying up and down. Then we moved from there to what? So to using paper currency. Then now from paper currency we had what the likes of PayPal, digital money. Before Bitcoin we had what PayPal and the likes. Yeah. PayPal we have Payoneer, we have all of this. Now it's another innovation to what to cryptocurrencies, which is what the true digital form of what cryptocurrencies. Now, let me quickly give you some information about cryptocurrency, why cryptos are unique. And it's one of the reasons why I always talk about the government because they are constantly talking about us and they are giving us free publicity. Well, they didn't know. So now, in the central bank of each country, if you're Ghanaian, right, if you're Zimbabwean, if you're Nigerian, you understand, nobody can tell of how much has been printed in our central banks this year. Government needs money tomorrow. They enter central banks and print more money. They keep printing more money. It devalues our currency. It devalues our economy, and that's one of the. It's for Nigerians. It's not really funny at the moment. If I tell you, it's not really funny. At a point in time, we had our dollar to naira. The conversion rate was around 150 in the start. And now we are around 380. Even in the crypto space, you see 450 and all of this. It's not funny. If you've been saving your money in naira at that time, that means you are constantly losing the value of your worth in the international market. That means if you had $10 million at a point in time, go and check it right now. It will be around maybe $6, $7. You are constantly what's losing value because the government doesn't give a damn about anyone. They need more money, they enter the banks and print more money. So these are the kind of issues with what decentralized form of money. You know, Bitcoin generally, cryptocurrency, blockchain is what decentralization. So all of these things we have a centralized way of doing them before. Understand the government controls everything. The government controls the foreign exchange. You understand? You have no idea of what is currently going. But right now,
Yeah.
when we talk about cryptocurrency, imagine we all are aware that the total number of Bitcoin that will ever exist in this world is what 21 million. When for our fiat currency, when we say fiat, we're talking about your what local currency. I don't know, maybe since I've been born, maybe they've printed $200 billion, $3 billion. I don't know. But for cryptocurrency, right from inception since 2009, we know cryptocurrency would always exist. The maximum supply of cryptocurrency that we'll always have is what 21 million. And this is one of the things that drives what the adoption of it. That is why you constantly see the value of cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin keeps going up. Understand? It might not be like today, it's going up tomorrow, it's going up next tomorrow, it's going up. But take a look at it. Take a look at every solid project, every solid cryptos. Take a look at it in the long run. They are what constantly gaining value because there is a fixed supply. And even there is something even in crypto, there is this something in crypto space. It's called token bond. Now, out of the 21 million, they let's say I don't want to use the word admin because there's really no central authority when we talk about cryptocurrencies, but there are team that handles the project. Understand? We need developers, we need graphics designers for blockchain to operate and all of those things. So there is like a team, but those team work on what on consensus. So people can agree tomorrow that they will buy back 2 million out of the 21 million supply of Bitcoin and burn it. Now, when they burn a crypto, that means what they are reducing what the supply. You understand? And when you reduce the supply, that means what the demand would drastically what go up. And that is one of the things that what is fueling and driving the prices of cryptocurrencies. And that's why governments would never support cryptocurrency in daylight. But trust me, a couple of them have cryptos. They have cryptos because they know they can't stop it. They can't stop it. But it's just like we are in a part of the world whereby poverty is a tool to control the masses and not going there. So now, once you understand that there is no central authority, now to get to operate like in the financial aspect of the country or something, there is age restriction for you. Let's start with that. Yeah, to borrow loan in the bank, if you go to the bank to borrow loan, the way they will attend to you is different from the way they will attend to gravity. But in cryptocurrency way, when we're talking about decentralized finance, nobody gives a damn about who you are. Nobody gives a damn about who your race is. Nobody gives a damn about who your skin color is. Understand? In the true decentralized finance. But if it's in the centralized aspect, like in the central banks, go to any bank, try to borrow money, see them tell you the money is not available, and instantly another person that they know is more influential than you comes in, and such a person is what offer the money instantly. Understand? So it's quite unfortunate, and these are the barriers that what cryptocurrency was is removing. It's removing it. Why do I say removing? Because decentralized finances gradually, day by day, what's coming into place, into fulfillment. So now to start with in Nigeria, I'll be using Nigeria as an example since I'm conversant with Nigeria as a whole. You have to walk up to a branch, create an account, submit some documents. Understand? So you submit a couple of documents, and they give you an account number. Now here's the thing: if you want to receive money from me, you send me your account number. I send the money to you. You receive the money. Are you guys with me? With the branch, the branch of your choice. You understand? But now in the crypto space, it's quite different but related. Just in the same way you send out your account number, in the crypto space, we do not use account number. We use what wallet address, because in the crypto space we use what wallet. Now there are different, now let me quickly talk about something which is one of the disadvantages of centralized finance is the fact that the security of centralized finance, it's not in your hand. The security of your money is not in your hands. We've seen instances where bank folds up and your money is affected. You understand? Maybe the branch is attacked or robbed or something. No, these are not these are factors that you cannot control. It's being controlled. It's your regulation. The regulation of your money is done by bank. And if you take a look at the history of finance, the true history of finance, the bank is constantly giving out your money to people who will do business with it. Just that when you need money, you find a way of what providing. They have enough liquidity to still provide you with money anytime you want. You need it. So the security of your funds is not really in your hands in centralized system. But when we talked about decentralized finance, we talked about cold wallets, we talked about or hot or hard wallets. Instead, we talk about warm wallets, whereby you are solely responsible for your security, for the security of what of your funds. So now, if you do not give out your security, you're safe. But unlike the central bank and the banking system, the banks decide to fold up. I was reading a book of history, then I read even in this part of my country in Nigeria. At a point in time, the wealth of a tribe was wiped off. If you're conversant with history, you know about that. If you're conversant with the issues such as NSAS, you understand. If you take a look at it, how it was funded, it was them easy. The government didn't see it was coming. Understand? If you want to fund such an instance, such an occasion through the government, it will get seized. Even people that participated in it with their own bank account still have their bank locked up even after 90 days until now. When cryptocurrency, the government cannot just wake up tomorrow and say they want to lock out your blockchain wallet, your crypto wallet. It's you. No, the security what it's in your hand. So these are a couple of things that what excite me when we talk about what cryptocurrency and blockchain. It was freedom. Take it as that. It was freedom. So once you get your account number in the bank branch, they give you like some keywords so that you can always authorize your transaction with it. Now here's it in the crypto space. When you want to get started, there are different kind of wallets, the cold and warm wallet. So I think in the crypto space, to be honest with you, what we are currently experiencing is not the true decentralization yet. But when we talk about the likes of Uniswap, you understand decentralized finance tokens, that is gradually coming in. The trend is fully coming in right now. That is when you can talk about full decentralization. We can just with the likes of Binance, with the like of OKX, those are like custodial wallets. You open it with something like a broker, and if some of you are quite familiar with like forex, you understand. So the broker concept, when you open an account with Binance, it's just like you're opening accounts with a broker. It's not fully in your hands. Your broker can deal with you. Your broker can be hacked and your funds is gone as well. When the fully decentralized system in the crypto and blockchain space, we're talking about what DeFi, decentralized finance. So whichever the way, but you can never compare whatever has to do with blockchain and cryptocurrency with the full central world instance. So when you open your wallet, this is what happens. You get your wallet address and what you get your private key. Now, in the banking sector, they use what account number and password, maybe your ATM pin or bank pin. But in the crypto space, we use what wallet address and we as well use what private key. Now, you give out your wallet address to people to receive cryptos. You don't give out your what private keys. Your private keys are your password. You understand? And there is something that is very very specific that I have to tell you when you're setting up your wallet, either on Binance, either Trust Wallet, because I use Trust Wallet. I think I like Trust Wallet. You can use SafePal wallet as well. This is one thing. Those wallets gives you a recovery phase. Now, this recovery phase is an instance whereby maybe you lose your device, you lose your password or anything, and you need to reset. You need to gain access back to your wallet. You can always use your what your backup phrase. You understand? Some call it seed phrase, some call it backup phrase. You understand? These are things you can use to what to recover your wallet. So for you to approve transaction, you understand? If you want to send out cryptos to someone, for you to approve the transaction, you need your what your private key. So you don't ever share your what your backup phrase. You can see either backup phrase or unique what or your seed phrase. You don't share it with anyone, and your private keys as well. You don't share it with anyone. So the security of your money it's in your hand. You understand. Even if you want to send money from Nigeria now to US, the fee is quite much, very very much. But I tell you, it will take this. That's another thing. It will take this for the money to reflect. But in the crypto space, one thing is this: there are cryptos such as Flashcoin, there are cryptos such as Dash that you can send in between 5 seconds, less than 5 seconds, intercontinental, even intercontinental. If I send Flashcoin to someone now in America, the person will get it in less than what 5 seconds. You can never try that with the banking system. And what happens is once the person receives the Flashcoin, the person can now what convert it to what to US dollars. If the person is sending me Flashcoin of Dash, and I know of Dash as well, Dash is very very fast. Even when you're sending USDT with Tron network, you understand it's very very fast. Now let me tell you something quick. With this is it. You must have heard of Bitcoin. You must have heard of Ethereum. You must have heard of Litecoin and all of these things. So I see. Am I permitted to talk about this aspect of cryptocurrency?
And go ahead, but mainly stress on Freeton. That's the main point.
Okay, okay, okay. So I'll still come back to talk about crypto. So there are different cryptocurrencies. There are thousands of what? There are thousands of cryptocurrency. Sorry, at the moment I'm trying to control my network. This is Nigeria. Sorry, a minute, a couple of seconds, guys. Sorry, I'm so sorry. Okay, a moment, please. Trying to control my network so we do not have network issues. Uh, Okay, cool. Now, so this is one of the amazing things that we can talk about. We have different cryptocurrencies. I think we have more than 10,000 cryptocurrencies, but you can always check out the details. I told you information about these cryptos, but are all available. You can enter a bank today and they tell you their rate of naira is 530. You enter another branch, they tell you 520. You enter another branch, they tell you 490 for same naira. You understand? It's quite unfortunate. A couple of these things a little bit exist, but it's very rare. Unlike when we talk about arbitrage trading, and this comes as a result of error between two exchanges using different prices. You understand? It's an error. If you see it in crypto, it's an error. It's an obvious error. It's never what intentional. So on the issue the prices of cryptocurrency for Bitcoin is what the same across what different exchanges. So now that's the aspect of blockchain. I told you can verify transactions and all that. So now let's come back. We started with blockchain network. You know, this blockchain network can be applied to a lot of things, like I said earlier, but we have different blockchain network. This is a part where I talk about Freeton. How many minutes more do I have? I think I've spent 15 minutes. I get excited to talk about blockchain and cryptocurrency for real, and go on and on and on. But let's talk about Freeton. So now here is the thing: there is Bitcoin blockchain. You understand? I told you there are over 10,000 cryptocurrency I know of when you had the DeFi tokens. So these tokens, this Bitcoin, they are powered by blockchain technology, since they are what an innovation of what blockchain technology. But the blockchain technology is not only what for cryptocurrency, it has what other applications when we look at it. So now one of the applications, there are different what blockchains. We have Ethereum blockchain. Ethereum blockchain, the blockchain behind Ethereum, it's quite different from what the blockchain behind what Bitcoin. You understand? It's quite different from our Tron. We have Tron blockchain. We have a couple of what blockchain. I think Litecoin is having it, but only blockchain as well. But out of those, I think they all have their what individual differences. Now, let me tell you something about Bitcoin blockchain, and which is one thing that I really like about Ethereum, and I'll talk more of what things I like about Freeton right now. So now, sorry, okay now for Bitcoin, one of the major issues of Bitcoin, why I really do not tag Bitcoin as a scalable blockchain network, is the fact that it only supports the native token, which is what Bitcoin, BTC. That's the only native token that the blockchain can have. But when you take a look at what Ethereum blockchain is very crazy. Quite number of applications. We talked about the apps, understand. We talked about a lot of things. Most couple of projects right now that are in the DeFi space are big projects are what's built on Ethereum blockchain, and it exists. Now to talk about Freeton blockchain, and that is where I'll be talking. Well, I'll talk about Freeton blockchain, but my boss will be doing the biggest part of the justice to talk about the Freeton blockchain, and that's so I see boss will be the one to do the biggest justice to the Freeton blockchain. So now, one of the amazing things I like about the Freeton blockchain is the fact that you know for me, it's quite easier, like the interface. What do I mean? There is an operating system. Now, what do I mean with operating system? Now, for people that are quite familiar with like using like a computer, you know, operating system is so unique. Now, different blockchain has its own what different or unique feature that actually what is being built upon. Now, one of the amazing things that I like about these are there are a lot of use cases. I think let me go through it. There are a lot of use cases. Freeton blockchain is beyond just ledgers. When we talk about Bitcoin blockchain, the major things you can associate with Bitcoin blockchain is what the ledgers aspect of it, which is like verifying transactions, and we talk about Bitcoin as a cryptocurrency. Now, moving down to Ethereum blockchain, it's more than just being a ledger. There are different projects that are built on what Ethereum blockchain. But for Freeton blockchain, it's beyond just a ledger. It's like it has the same characteristics like immutable. Now it all has the characteristic. One of the unique feature I'll be talking about is what the operating system was the operating system aspect of it. Operating system like let me read from here. An operating system consists of various fundamental programs which are needed by a computer so it can receive and communicate instructions to the user. Now when we talk about Freeton having like an operating system, that means it makes it easier for you interacting. It's just like operating system takes the command between you and your computer. It's like the link between you and the command you give to the computer. It processes the information you send out to the computer. Okay, so that's quite the thing. I think I'll just bring like a summary, and my boss will be talking about Freeton in full. So now, one thing that you talk about blockchain, the characteristics and the features I've explained earlier. So now let's do like a little recap, and that's one of the amazing things. Now we've talked about it. So boss will be doing the biggest justice to how we can leverage. We've talked about different blockchains because we'll be talking about the Freeton blockchain. So now here is the thing that I want you to always be aware of. You see, the blockchain technology, this is one of the things people really don't talk about. But it's a value chain. Now, when I mean a value chain is this. The value chain means what? There are intervals, there are points where other people can what, participate, other people can have their own input. And quickly, let's talk about football. I think quite a number of us will be familiar with football. In football, our focus most times is often on the players from both teams. 22 players, right? 11. But football, for the game to actually be successful, it's beyond that. You need the stewards, you need the cleaners, you need the people that are making the jerseys, you need the umpires, which are the referees, you need the people that sells the tickets. And these are the couple of things like when we talk about value chain. These are different people at what different value chain. So now when we talk about blockchain, everybody can contribute. Developers, you're a developer, you can contribute to the blockchain. You're a graphics designer, you can contribute to the blockchain. You are a content writer, you can contribute to the blockchain, because values are what are constantly needed. Just like there are miners verifying transactions so that we can all the transactions can go on smoothly. The blockchain is what a value chain that accommodates everyone. you can add the blockchain to be part of whatever you do. I've met comedians in the blockchain industry. I've met people that are into fashion in the blockchain industry. Like I said earlier, its application, it's diverse. I'm a digital marketer in the blockchain in the blockchain space in Nigeria. I build communities and all this. So you're unlimited. And while my boys will be talking about the value chain of Freeton and how you all can be part of it, one thing that I want you to constantly do is try to learn about what blockchain and cryptocurrency. We've talked about the basics. There are more that we can always talk about right now. But one thing is you can always go online to YouTube and the likes, and you can always learn more. So with that, I'll round up and allow my boss to come in. Until I see, are you with me? You know?
Yeah, I'm around.
Yeah. So
So
so I'm giving it to you right now, boss.
nice one, Mr. Jerry. We've quite touched all around many sides of blockchain and real life examples and a whole lot. So that's really nice. So I'll go ahead to talk about Freeton. I wouldn't want to stress much about blockchain and all that, which Jerry has covered to save time and all that. So he has given many examples about other blockchains and how they run. But one thing that sets Freeton apart is that Freeton is very highly scalable compared to a whole lot of other blockchain. And if you know how internet was created, the internet that we are all using now, it was created to be free. But due to because of censorships and government regulations and all that, there are some things you can't do freely, even if you're faceless or you're no one can see you on the internet. There are still regulations that still restrict you. So cryptocurrencies actually came to solve some censorship problems, but then it couldn't solve them to a whole lot of like to an extent it couldn't solve them. Why do I say it couldn't solve them? Cryptocurrencies were created to be truly free, decentralized in the actual sense of decentralization. Like some of those chains that you called, they claim to be decentralized, but on the real sense, they're actually glorified centralized blockchains while they act as if they are decentralized. So Freeton has 400 plus validators scattered around the world that validates transactions. He talked about miners, but in Freeton we call them validators. Other chains call them what they want to call them. So in Freeton, it's actually a community project. Like no one owns it. You can't pinpoint anyone and say you're Freeton, you're the boss in Freeton or this. It's actually a community project. Everyone owns it. So some of those other chains, like let me call Solana or all those other chains, they have VCs or they do what they call ICOs back in the days or IEO or whatsoever or pre-sale or seed sale whatsoever. So you find out at the end of the day, majority of the tokens are in the hands of the VCs. They can either pump the price or dump it as much as they want to. They have the right to do whatsoever they want to, and they dictate what happens in the network because they own a large chunk of the whole coin. But in Freeton, actually, a big supply of it is actually reserved for the community. It's not like there is VCs that control it. They have, let's say, 80% or 70% of the whole token is in their hands. Freeton is not like that. It's a community project. Anyone and everyone owns it if you can come in. So I would like anyone that is here that wants to actually join Freeton on Telegram, you can just search at Tone Africa, TON Africa. You can go ahead, join the group, come on board, learn what Freeton is about, and then be part of the community. So with that said, we'll still have another call or another meeting tomorrow to talk more detail into Freeton and blockchain again. So I would like to welcome Michael Jerry back again to come and he's going to do a question and answer segment. So whoever answers first gets to win him or herself something. So Michael.
You guys should be looking at me and smiling.
So you will go ahead and ask the questions in the chat. Whoever gets to answer first will be the one.
Okay. Should we use chat or voice? I asked
Let's
or voice.
You can use voice to ask the questions, or you can just use chat. Use chat to ask the question. The fastest finger gets the answers
Okay.
correctly.
Okay. What question am I going to ask? Okay, okay. Uh, it's a little bit. I don't know.
Can you
Okay,
type
so
the
let me
question?
ask it voice so it will be
Mm,
it.
can you type it? Just type it. Type it. It will be easier.
Okay.
Or maybe if you want to use voice, you can use voice. Either ways, whichever you're comfortable with, you can just use it.
Yeah, I'm typing at the moment. So the first question is there. What are the key features of blockchain as discussed? Do I wait for answers before moving on to other question? So the question is there. Guys, check.
Yeah.
I think we have a winner.
Fastest.
My questions are simple. I don't know. Okay, centralized and security. Yeah, yeah. I'll prefer a more detailed answer beyond. My boss will choose the winner, by the way. And
No, you choose the winner. Michael, choose the winner. The person that gets the correct answer chooses.
okay, so I think the options there we have are all right. The person that talked about decentralization, someone talked about decentralization and security. It's right. Everything is right. So let's just go for the. I think we should just go for the as reasonable like you can give. I think someone is talking about decentralization,
Someone
consensus,
has decentralization and security. I think consensus mechanism, freedom. It's a bit
freedom,
more detailed than the
all
other ones.
detailed. Yeah. I
Decentralization,
think it's
consensus
very
mechanism, and freedom. So
so.
that's David Oludele, right? So so David Oludele, can you drop your Telegram handle? You'll be contacted about how to get your tokens.
Okay, so the next question is rolling in. I mentioned that there is a blockchain, a particular blockchain network that you can. It only supports its native token. So, which blockchain network did I mention? I mentioned one blockchain network in particular that only supports its own native blockchain. So, I think okay, okay. So I guess you can see the winner for that already. Okay, okay. Oh.
So Jerry, which one? What was the answer?
Yeah, it's BTC. It's Bitcoin.
Okay, so
It's
we have Mickey Wonders. So Mickey Wonders, can you drop your Telegram handle if you're there? You'll be contacted.
So the next question is, how would you explain the difference between the blockchain ledgers? We talked about blockchain as interconnected ledgers and central bank ledgers. What do you see as the difference? That's the next question. I think this will require more in-depth answer. Give as much as in-depth answer as you can give. How many questions am I asking, please?
After we have three more questions to go.
Okay. Okay. I think I'm going through the options right now. Hey, I missed some options up there. Okay. YouTube. Even on the blockchain, we see all the transactions being carried out. Blockchain is the central authority. Uh, it's distributed, so there is no central point of order. Blockchain is transparent enough for everyone to see, like decentralized one, it's still the same thing. Blockchain ledgers can be saved for everyone. Okay. Mm. This is a tie. I don't know. Please select. Everyone is right, but here's the answer. Blockchain. Blockchain ledgers. It's everybody can actually see it. It's immutable. Someone can just like edit it without the miners are looking at it and all of those things. Please, my boss, please select in. It's tie. It's not
No,
easy
just
for
select
me.
the first most correct answer. That's just it.
The first most correct answer. Sorry, guys, I'm trying to trace it. It's everyone in blockchain will see login transaction beginning. That's how would you explain? That's Toyi Badmos. Yeah,
So, Toyi Badmos, can you go ahead and drop your Telegram handle or any means of contact?
Toyi Badmos. Yeah. Other questions. Okay. Okay. So we have goodness Bia Mungwe. Sorry if my pronunciation is not correct. Now let me switch to questions about Freeton.
Can you hold on? Let me let's get the handle of Toyi
Okay.
Badmos she dropped, or he or she dropped. Answer. Just a minute, please. All right, go ahead. Go ahead, Mr. Jerry.
Okay. Yeah. So the next question is the Freeton network is how many days old? I think you talked about it you talked about it, right? You mentioned it. I'm not going to talk about it, Brian. You mentioned it. Okay.
If you
I've seen
joined early.
answers. If you joined
All
the
right.
league, yeah.
All
I
right.
want the correct answer. You talked about the month and dates and days. You actually mentioned the days, right?
Yeah. For the early joiners, those that came in early, I think I said days.
Yeah, you said it. So those are joined early. So you will have no closer answer than this, then
Let me
just go
give
with the
an
first
expo.
person.
Just on your Telegram, type at Freeton at Tune Africa. You're going to see it. Just scroll. You're going to see a
So you can
statistics there.
that way just join the
On
Telegram as
Telegram,
well.
on Telegram, just type search TON Africa, and then you will see a statistics. I think if you should stroke before the next 5 or 6 messages above, you will see it. The exact days. No.
Okay, Oyinkola Odunsin, the question is the Freeton network is how many days old? How many days old? Hey, Samuel Lawa, don't kill me. I can't calculate how many days is 253. Do we have the right answer? Please confirm. Do you have
Not
the
yet.
closest answer? Yeah?
Not yet.
Okay, not yet.
Search. Just go on Telegram. Search at TON
See,
Africa. Go up. You're going to see a statistics there.
Maybe we should ask another question.
Yeah, someone has gotten it. Timothy has gotten it. Timothy
okay,
K.
Timothy has gotten it.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's move on to the next, which is it the last question?
Yeah. The last question.
Have you seen the correct answer? Please check.
Yeah, I've seen the correct answer. Timothy, drop your Telegram handle. You'll be contacted. So go to the last question and go to the last question, but then there will be a bonus giveaway, just bonus.
Okay, so that's next of kinship. So tomorrow, my dad's account is still in UBA and we cannot withdraw the money. It's quite unfortunate to understand. So, but in blockchain, when in the case of death, God forbid, nobody's dying in it, and nobody knows how to access your wallet. It's always there. There are people that store their cryptos in hard drives. There is a way you can store your cryptos in hard drives, and if you
So,
lose
Mr.
the
Jerry,
hard
did you
drive,
ask the right question?
no. Someone asked through the comments. So the question I'm
Okay,
responding to. So
okay.
if you cannot access such hard drives any longer, it's not going to be added back to the blockchain pool. It's just there. We still believe someone owns it. Understand? So it's a couple of bitcoins are in such a situations right now. Nobody else can access it. It will just be in that wallet till eternity. It's lost and gone. Yeah. Okay, so do we go for the last question, right? Okay, do I ask for the name of my boss? What do I, okay, what question? What other question? Do I have? I mentioned. Play. Okay, yeah. So earlier I mentioned about the fact that the process of verifying transactions. We have proof of stake, we have proof of and we have proof of So what are the two remaining? So the question is the check. We have proof of stake, we have proof of, and we have proof of. I think Oyinkansola Odunsi. What do we do to this your R? I know you wanted to type Israel, right? So but you made a mistake. So I think let's give it to our Oyinkansola Odunsi, proof of work and proof of history. So
So,
that's it.
Nicola, you can drop your Telegram handle to be contacted.
Yeah. Yeah. So do we have one more question about that?
I think to the first person that joined
That's
on,
oh, okay. Okay.
I think I took notice of the first person. Oyin
Okay.
can you be contacted through that Odunsi Oyin Consola? Can you be contacted with it on Telegram? If otherwise, you can just drop your main Telegram handle. All right. So I think when the meeting started, I saw someone that came in first.
Yeah.
Goodness Obiawumi. I know I saw that name. So can you drop your Telegram handle too? You
She's
get
still
some
there.
tones for
Okay.
being the first
She's
person
still.
to come on.
Oh. I guess I would get some points for smiling too. Smiling. Okay, I think she dropped that already.
All right.
Okay, sorry, this instruction is a little bit specific. If you're connected to me in a way and you're here, please take a proof that you are right on this live stream right now while I'm talking, while with my hands up this way. Please take a proof that you are right now on the stream. Take like a picture. I hope you're done. I can hear Papa. Well done, guys. Smart people.
So
Okay, so
good.
that's just take a
So
picture. Take
yeah,
a picture while I'm this way. Okay,
so
that's all.
I want to thank everyone for coming. Tomorrow, same time, we'll be we'll be here talking about Freeton and talking about we'll go deeper to talk about Freeton and everything Freeton related. So everyone be sure to tune in same time tomorrow. So thank you everyone and have yourselves a very lovely evening and a lovely weekend.